In a world lit only by flaming exhausts, in the land of the rising sun, an ancient monster awakens. Welcome to Race 2 of the Missed Apex Formula 3 Challenge as we journey to Japan, where the drivers will do battle in the second round of the championship. Vicious braking zones, horrifying hairpins, and the dual Wegners await to inflict maximum damage on those seeking glory and redemption. To get us underway today, please give a warm welcome to your commentators, Chris Stevens and Chris Catman Turner.
The feature race grid is set. 11 laps of the Suzuka circuit and then 2 9-lap top 20 reverse grid races, and it is Danny Henny on pole position then ahead of Brian Boomsma. That is a tantalizing front row after the epic scrap they had for the lead at Interlagos. It's Alexander Dobbelsberger who managed to get up on the second row there with the last gasp attempt. He's third on the grid ahead of Luca Harrison, Alex Jonesma and David Hatton. That's row 3. Kyle Power, the top panelist there, in 7th place ahead of Tim Ellis. Stephen Williams in 9th, and then 10th is Alex Van Gien. Lucas Raskovitz, our reigning silver champion, now in gold, is 11th. Jose O'Donnell, he's in 12th. Alex McBride, Colin Ward, and Mark Greenhow, that's the top 15. Yep, we're about to get underway for the feature race of round 2 of the Missed Apex iRacing F3 Cup at Suzuka. It's Henny and Boomsma on the front row of the grid. A straight run down towards turn 1. These two had an epic scrap in Interlagos. The battle is resumed at Suzuka. And they are underway now. A big puff of smoke as everyone tries to get the drag away. It is Henny who has pulled in front at the moment. Boomsma trying to find a way through in the slipstream. Dobbelsberger safely into 3rd place as well ahead of Harrison. It's As You Were at the front of the field. Henny just with a narrow margin there over Brian Boomsma, who looks one way and the other as they file their way into the S's.
He is, and you know, these first couple of laps are going to be particularly tricky for these guys. Henny went a little bit wide. He might have compromised his exit there. Boomsma crawling all over the back of him. Big
understeer there for Danny Henny in the opening sector of the lap. That actually held up Boomsma there as he had to get out of the throttle and is now finding himself under big pressure from Alexander Dobbelsberger. But there's no way through in the Degness section. It will be down towards the hairpin that these guys will look to make a move. So Henny leads by just half a second ahead of Boomsma. Dobbelsberger, Harrison and Jonesma, your top 5. But there goes Harrison trying to get around the outside there of Dobbelsberger and get himself into the podium places, nibbling at the rear wing of Dobbelsberger's black and white Ace of Spades car as they exit the corner. And now he's got to run on him. Oh, not quite. I thought he was just going to pull out of the slipstream there. He will have a look up the inside of Spoon Corner, but thinks better of it. Kyle Power, meanwhile, going wheel to wheel with Alex Jonesma for 5th place there. And it is Jonesma who's just holding the advantage for now and edges Power out towards the curb. David Hatton, Tim Ellis and Stephen Williams waiting in the wings to take advantage of that as well. There goes Power now towards the outside. Hatton making it 3 wide as they come towards 130R, and he wisely backs out of it. It's Power going around the outside and takes 5th place there. Meanwhile, Harrison has got himself up into 3rd place at the end of lap 1.
He has. It was a very brave move. Just stuck it up the inside of 130R, left Dobbelsberger no way to turn in. So that was going to be risky. In the meantime, Boomsma is right in the slipstream of Henny down the start-finish straight into turn 1.
Henny weaving this way and that way, trying to break the toe, takes up the racing line as they head towards turn 1. But it is the narrowest of margins between these two. Once again, Henny leading by just 0.3 of a second as they went over the line. So I wonder if Henny's still struggling with a bit of tyre temperature here, and if Boomsma could pounce on Henny in that open window.
Yeah, you can see there through the S's, even though he's got a clear track ahead of him, he's still struggling to get the front end turned in. If you crank on more lock, it will just make you understeer more. So he's really got to be careful in these first couple of laps. And he's got that shark Boomsma right behind him.
Yeah, we know that Boomsma will take any opportunity for an overtake that he will get. Just ran a little bit wide there on the exit of Degness, but it looks like he got away without any slowdown penalty. Still very close behind them between Harrison and Dobbelsberger for the last spot on the podium. Actually, Harrison could well be closing them down. The gap is just 0.7 of a second between Boomsma and Harrison, and of course Dobbelsberger wants to get himself back onto the podium as well.
Dobbelsberger tucking under the rear wing of Harrison. He might well make a move into the chicane.
I think he will. Look at the slipstream he's getting down this back straight and through 130R. So it's game on for third place once again as Dobbelsberger moves to the outside line. And he won't go all the way around the outside there. We're trying to line Harrison up for the exit and down the front straight. Certainly he's a lot closer to the back of Harrison's car than Boomsma is to Henny for the lead. Henny pulled out a nice advantage there, about half a second, as we've got the back marker coming out of the pit lane.
Interesting, into turn one, there are two lines that are actually quite equal. You know, maybe the defensive line is not to hug the inside, because you can just sweep around that outside and then be in a good position for the rest of the S's. I think that's going to go on all race long, Chris.
Yeah, it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't corners, isn't it? Kyle Power still scrapping away with Alex Jonesma for 5th place. He's just retaken that position, and we've got a queue of cars: Hatton, Ellis, Williams, Van Gien, all in a queue waiting to take advantage if anybody makes a mistake in that line of cars there. So Power soaking up the pressure at the moment from these guys. Dobbelsberger looks very close again in 4th place there to the back of Harrison's car. Had a little look towards Spoon Corner, but did not go through there. And once again, it's going to be the slipstream down this back straight.
As we saw in the F3s, Chris, the Spoon Corner is not the place to overtake, because it leaves you very vulnerable to this slipstream, as you said, coming down towards 130R. Fakes to the inside, doesn't quite make it. He's going to run into the chicane.
Oh, and I think he may well have found himself the inside line for the chicane this time. Harrison could not stop him, and actually brakes very, very early for the chicane. So Harrison, discretion the better part of valor there, and Dobbelsberger quite easily retakes 3rd place there and has actually pulled out a little bit of a gap there. I think Harrison will get a bit of a tow, but I don't think he'll be challenging Dobbelsberger by the time they get down to turn 1. Meanwhile, Jonesma in 5th place, and Power once again side by side into turn 1, and it's Jonesma now back ahead as he goes around the outside of the first corner. Ellis and Hatton just behind them, going wheel to wheel as well. Hatton trying to maintain position there over Ellis, and he does hang on to that 7th place spot.
Been very well behaved so far, Chris. I think this time Dobbelsberger has made a little bit of time up through the S's. Maybe he's managed to keep his tyres in better condition, because Harrison dropping back a little bit. And as you say, Drillsma is now just struggling to keep ahead of Power there, and got a little bit wide onto those curves through Degner's, nearly lost it. This is going to be fascinating to see who comes out on top towards the end.
Yeah, I think the crucial thing here is that these guys really, they can't seem to break away from the slipstream of each other, which seems to be the problem. Meanwhile, the top 4 are breaking away, although Jonesma there's got quite a handy advantage there over Power, certainly the biggest we've seen all race so far. Up at the front of the field, that gap is now 1.3 seconds between Henny and Boomsma, and the gap between Dobbelsberger and Harrison stretching out as well, about 0.6 of a second. So it's the battle pack for 5th place that seems to be the closest at the moment. As Jonesma safely navigates the final corner. Of course, the gold champion from last season, after that rather epic throwdown between him and Harrison at the final race, where they were fighting for the title, despite ended up racing on complete opposite ends of the circuit.
Thought I would draw your attention, Chris, to Spanners Ready, the number 117 car, just coming down start finish straight. He made an excellent move there past Terra Tylus, and he started in 27th place, is now up to 17th. So, you know, we were chatting to him. He was a bit disappointed with his qualifying performance, but he's making really good progress through the field.
Now that'll put him in a good grid position for the top 20 reverse grid race. Of course, 20th will end up being on pole position for the next race. And that would actually put Spanners 4th on the grid for the next race.
He does have a little bit of a gap ahead of him, so let's see if he can close that down before the end.
Absolutely. Now, Luca Harrison, just coming out of Degner 2, seemed to have a bit of a wide moment there in 4th place, and that's really stretched out the gap between him and Dobbelsberger. And if anything, Dronsma's looking closer to Harrison at the moment. The gap just 1 second as they head out of Spoon Curve. It's spreading out a little bit at the front of the field, although dare I say Tim Ellis in 8th place there is looking at the back of the former Formula Renault Challenge champion David Hatton as they head towards 130R once again, and Ellis knows what it takes to make a brave move around here. Down the inside of the chicane he goes, and he does claim that 7th place spot. Of course, brilliantly took the lead on the final lap the last time we raced here in the Formula Renaults. And it looks like he's got some defending to do now with Hatton in the slipstream. And really moving towards the inside there towards turn 1. Williams waiting in the wings as well, and it's side by side once again between these two familiar faces in this championship. A brilliant wheel-to-wheel action once again, and Hatton reclaims that position.
Yeah, that's what we were saying, Chris. That outside line, I think, is the preferred one into turn 1 because you can just carry so much more speed into turn 2, and it's and then you can see if you can slot in front for the S's.
Yeah, it's certainly the long way round you have to go, but if you can make it work, you do gain yourself the high ground when you go into the S's section. And of course, through this section of track, it's all follow the leader. And everyone choosing against the dive up the inside of the hairpin. A little lock up there from Hatton as they make their way left-handed, and of course that is the slowest corner on the track. Very easy to lock a front wheel there, especially as you're braking so late into that corner. It's
definitely follow my leader unless your name is Kobayashi. And he who was that went off, Chris?
That's Alex Jonesma from 5th place. That has just dropped it on the exit of Spoon Curve. Gets going now though, but he's dropped all the way down to 11th place. So having been enthralled in that battle with Kyle Power for 5th place, it is now the bright green number 6 car that retakes that position and of course promotes Hatton, Ellis, Williams, Van Gien and Raskovitz with it as well. Raskovitz now inside the top 10 in the Gold Championship he's racing now after dominating the Silver Championship last season.
Just taking a look back at that incident, Chris, he just got up on the curb. There was nobody else around him. He wasn't in the dirty air. I think it was just a plain and simple mistake. He's going to kick himself a loss of 6 positions there.
Yeah, we've seen Josma. He has fantastic speed, but often has found himself in incidents that stop him getting the results he really deserves. Of course, the Nürburgring last season, that was the second round of the championship. He was brilliantly fast and did win a race, but probably should have been on the podium in most of those races. But great to see Jonsma still fighting, and of course was in that thrilling championship battle with Luca Harrison in the gold standings last season. Both of them now promoted to platinum.
I think we're going to get some more podium action towards the end of this race, Chris. I think Dobertsberger is just slowly reeling in. Boomsma ahead of him. He's now only 7 tenths behind coming down the back straight here. That slipstream is going to help him just to reel him in. I think in a couple of laps he could be with him.
Yeah, I wonder if Boomsma somewhere on this lap's just made a slight error. Last time round they were very even on the lap times. 51.2 for the pair of them. But like you say, he's sort of reeling him in now a little bit, isn't he? And Henny was not that fast either. He was a 51.5 last time around. So we'll see what it is as they come over the line now to complete lap 7.
Yeah, Danny's just kind of managing that gap to the second and a half. It has dropped a little bit in the last lap though, so it is tightening up again. Yeah,
so Dobertsberger was 2 tenths quicker than Boomsma last time around. So we'll see if he can maintain that pace. I'm not saying, actually it was the fastest lap of the race there from Dobertsberger, a 51.0 from him that time round, a full second quicker than Luca Harrison behind him. So Dobertsberger's pulling the pin at the moment.
Move back to position 9. Alex Van Gien in car number 4 is really hassling Stephen Williams there. There's a great battle going on. They're just coming through the S's. I think there's going to be some action here. These two have met on the karting track quite a number of times, and they've produced some excellent races in our missed Apex go-karting events when we're able to do those. Oh, Williams got a little bit of a bad exit there, Chris.
Yeah, Van Gien all over the back of the Aston Martin coloured car now. That has to go defensive into the hairpin. And so Van Gien will get an excellent run out of here, so long as he doesn't get too much wheel spin. And right in the slipstream. Now, I would not put it past Alex Van Gien to have a look up the inside of Spoon Corner. He tends to just go for the move, even if it isn't 100% on most of the time. Thinks better of it into Spoon Corner this time. And will line himself up for the exit and down this long back straight.
Yeah, what that did was that little fake move there put Williams offline into the first part of the Spoon curve, and that hopefully for Alex has given him a bit of a drag. He's going to be right with him into the chicane.
Alex is a very smart racer, it must be said. He knows his racecraft oh so well, and forcing Williams defensive once again, this time into the chicane, and Van Gien taking a clunk of curb there, and he should get a fantastic exit out of this chicane there. Apologies if you're seeing him blinking there. Alex is not famed for his internet connections, but he has now found himself on the inside line as they head down towards turn 1, so this could well be 8th place for Alex Van Gien as they turn into the right-hander, and Van Gien goes through.
Fantastic setup there from Van Gien, as you say. He fantastic racecraft. He's managed to overtake him with a series of just putting Williams offline, and actually the thing that did it was Williams was on the inside into the chicane, and he just slightly overcooked it and had a very poor exit, and that gave Van Gien all he needed into turn 1.
Yeah, very much Fisichella Raikkonen 2005 vibes going into that chicane there, and Van Gien coming out on top for the moment, although still another 2.5 laps remaining in this race. And last time round, Dobbelsberger in 3rd place did not manage to take that same chunk out of Brian Boomsma. That gap's gone back out now to about 0.7 of a second, and it must be said Henny's not exactly running away with this. He's only 1 second ahead of Boomsma still. It's very stable up at the front of the field at the moment.
He is, and I wonder if he's just managing that gap, because he's not letting them get within a second, but he's definitely, as you say, not burying the hatchet here. He's able to just keep them behind. Boomsma is kind of yo-yoing between Henny and Dobbelsberger.
Now, I think Williams in 9th place here wants to retake that position from Alex Van Gien as they head towards 130R. He's on the inside, but Van Gien is not going to let him through that easily, and there's a little bit of late weaving there in the braking zone from the pair of them, but Van Gien is clinging on to that 8th place spot for now, and it will be Williams with a great slipstream once again, and Dronsma behind them on the recovery after that spin at Spoon Corner a few laps ago. And so side by side once again between these guys. Williams on the outside this time. Can he make it all the way around there? He's just about keeping level with Van Gien's car. And once again, we're going to see him with the line into the S's. And Van Gien still trying to brave it out, though. Side by side through the S's. They bang wheels. Williams goes off onto the grass and loses out there to Alex Dronsma. And he may well lose out to Lucas Raskowitz here as well.
He did, and I bet Drillsma was just rubbing his hands with glee there, because he's now right on the back of Van Gien. He's going to make up 2 places this lap, probably. Yeah, that was a little bit strange to see contact through there. These guys have kept it so clean in previous encounters. It's a shame to see Williams go off like that.
Now, up at the front of the field, I didn't want to say anything last time round, but that gap is definitely coming down. Brian Boomsma was 0.4 of a second quicker than Henny on the last lap, and it's seesawing once again, because I think Henny's regained his composure, but definitely it looked like for a moment there Boomsma was going to be catching the back of Henny's car, although of course we've only got 1 lap to go, so it would take a mistake from Henny at this point to cost him this victory.
I haven't seen any mistakes from Henny. I think it's just been excellent pace here from Boomsma and Dobbelsberger to hold on to him.
So they come across the line once again, and Boomsma the gap just under 1 second as they start the final lap now. So the white flag is waved. Henny is on his way to a 2nd victory of the season.
Bit of last lap
second
action
feature
here.
race.
We've got, sorry Chris to cut across, you've got David Hatton alongside with Alex Dobertsberger into turn 1. P5 they're in, and they're squabbling over P5 and 6, and Hatton seems to have moved ahead. I think he's just kept that position. Dobertsberger is scrambling to take it, and we've got Ellis just behind as well.
So Dobertsberger's lost out here because he was running in 4th place and has lost out to Kyle Power and David Hatton now. So Power now up into 4th, Hatton 5th, and Dobertsberger, if he's not careful, will fall into the clutches of Tim Ellis as well. I'll tell you why Dobertsberger's lost out. His last lap was a 57.3, so 6 seconds off the pace. So he has had a drama on that last lap somewhere that's massively cost him in terms of time and in position as well. So he'll be kicking himself about that one. No changes to the podium placings though, but Power, after maybe a slightly disappointing qualifying session, is placed himself well once again and scoring a good bag of points here. 7th in the championship at the moment, and he needs that consistency if he wants to compete with Henny, who, by the way, is just coming up to 130R now for the final time. No dramas for him on this final lap. Boomsma not able to run with the pace of Henny on this last lap as the gap's gone back out again, and so he was challenged in the early stages, but nothing can stop Danny Henny at Suzuka, it seems. He comes across the final corner and across the line to win Race 1, the feature race at Suzuka, round 2 of the Missed Apex iRacing F3 Cup. Brian Boomsma in 2nd place after a good tussle there in the early laps. Luca Harrison takes another podium place in 3rd there. Kyle Power across the line in 4th ahead of David Hatton and Alexander Dobertsberger. A late drama for him, costing him places. Tim Ellis in 7th. Alex Jonesma recovers to 8th place after a spin at Spoon Corner. Stephen Williams in 9th, and Lucas Raskovitz completes your top 10.
We're joined in the booth by race winner Danny Henny. Danny, that was not an easy victory for you. They were crawling all over you right from the start.
Yeah, it was a lot more difficult than I expected, I must admit. I tried to make a bit of a break of it at the start, and the gap was going up nicely. I think I got it up to 1.7 at one point, and then I don't know if I overcooked the tyres or what, but the car just started getting really unstable in the first sector, so I started dropping time, and then I'd have to back off and cool it down and then do a push lap and hope he wouldn't take too much time. But yeah, that was a sweaty one.
Yeah, Booms was all over the back of you, and as you said, reeling you in towards the end. This will obviously put you down in P20 for the start of the second race. How are you feeling about coming through the pack in this track?
Yeah, coming through the pack should be okay, providing I survive the first lap, obviously. But yeah, it should be all right. It just caught me out, like I say, with the tyres going off halfway through the race. So, yeah, hopefully it don't do that in a minute when I'm coming through, but it should be fun.
Yep, and as you said, keeping it clean in race 2 will be all what you need to get back up to the top again. Good luck in that second race.
Thanks, guys.